Hello, guys, and welcome to another stream. So for this one, I didn't really have any updates since yesterday. Didn't get to do any work, fortunately, in the afternoon. But yeah, let's continue some work today. And I'll just play some music in the background. If there's any questions, I'll turn that off and get to answering. So yeah, let's get to it. Hi, Gurkan. Welcome, welcome. How are you? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Let me know if the music is too loud, by the way. Um, I was just, I didn't have anything to like really talk about, so it was just mostly this level design, and I just didn't want to, I'm not sure how it comes across, when I just, blabber on about about what I'm doing. So it's yeah, I was just playing some music. But yeah, doing good, doing good. Just wanted to finish off some of this area for the for this exit from the cave, and yeah, right now I'm just focusing on these kind of little medium-sized to small assets that are sitting around the entrance. So just kind of, I guess you could call them like scatter assets. And these ones, I'm just gonna kind of placing by hand, but then I'm gonna use that IA scatter tool to place some of the ones that don't need so exact, too much of a exact positioning. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I've managed to find this little bigger cliff type of a block, and that I've had this one for a long time. This particular mesh, and I'll quickly position these pieces around here, and we can take another look at that when I do some more of the terrain sculpting, because it's kind of a massive piece, and I was, trying to figure out how I can position it better in the world, right? But I'll show a couple of the things that I'm trying to do with it, just to make use of it because it's really big. It's got some pretty good features. I don't really like the fact that it's very rectangular, but there's worlds could be made of squares or rectangles. So cubic cubes, stuff like that. Yeah, okay, let's get to doing some of this stuff here. These are just remnants from my previous work with all of this. So I'm just gonna try and position them best as I can here. Um, Oh yeah, definitely, definitely they are, which is that's kind of one of the things that I love about nature, I guess. Uh, it's uh, it's always surprising. So yeah, let's see how we can kind of sculpt around these pieces. I might just remove this one for now, and I might just go about maybe all of these could be actually moved once I'm done with this. I think these pieces that are just like outside pieces. Basically, they don't really belong to the cave area. I'm just gonna move them outside of this level, I think. So yeah, okay. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna commit these changes. I wish there was a way, I'm not sure actually, if there's a way that you can select one of these items and actually just break it out of the level. Can you? Uh, yeah, I guess you can create like a level instance out of a selection and then just break that level instance with these assets that are, they don't belong to this. You don't want to have them in a level instance, or you just want to have them in the main level. So I guess that's possible. I'll probably dabble with that once I commit my changes to the repository so that I know I can get them back if need be. Yeah, but for now I have a couple of shapes around here, so I'm just going to go about and sculpt this terrain a little bit and hopefully get them to fit in a little bit better with the terrain. We'll see how that's going to turn out. Yeah, and I do have RVT. Um, the only thing, and I think it's a matter of my shader, which kind of oddly, is on specific, like the some of the layers, the way I have them set up are so that they have a distance blend basically. So let me show you what I mean by that. So for example, out here in the distance, like you see these cliffs, right? And when I get closer, see they change their tiling, to be more of a up close tile. And the odd thing that I've noticed, and like I said, it might be something to do with my shader, is that for those layers, you see like the when it shows up on RVT, it picks up like the far distance areas. So for example, if I paint this here with one of the ones that don't have it, so for example, I believe mulch might be a layer that doesn't have any kind of distance tiling blend. Um, yeah, so see that looks good, like with the RVT. But everything that's in a distance, like that has that distance tile blend, it doesn't really work so well. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to figure out. I haven't spent too much time on it to be honest, but yeah. And see like down here, for example, these ones work well. And I think is it the moss? Like for example, the moss, that one has also a distance blend for the tiling, and see like it doesn't work so well with the RVT. So yeah, I think it's just kind of some odd stuff around the way that my shader is when it comes to that distance blending. So yeah, something to hopefully figure out. See, like the grass layer is fine because it doesn't have that distance blending. But in the end, I can always just, paint the one that works, and it's no big deal. But yeah, see, like over here, it kind of looks pretty odd. So, and again, it's since it's sloped, it does have that, this this kind of rocky layer is applied based on the slope, and it does look a little odd, I would say. But all right, so I'm gonna edit this real quick to kind of get to where these rocks are at, to kind of cover some of those edges that are kind of stick out with this mesh. Yeah, so I'm guessing in the end I'm just kind of sculpting the terrain around where some of these pieces were. But yeah, I definitely like RVTs. Like they look really nice, I have to say. So I'm just gonna paint a little bit of mulch around here with this mask that I had. At least I thought I had. Um, Something that looks like this. Let's see. Green, they kind of look the same. Blue is a little too much speckles. Just add a little bit of variety and kind of the vegetation around here. And also let's paint some of this. Kind of just removing some of the grass around here in sections. And one thing that I've always thought of, like when it comes to painting like uh, paths, like human paths, like that's not just like this random kind of thing that I have going on at the moment, but and I'm hoping to get to find like um, texture like an alpha that's kind of like a veiny type of thing, and I have an idea on it, but I'm trying to see if I can find it. Bear with me 1 second here, and I'll show you what I mean. Let's see. Yeah, so basically it'd be something like this, where you have like literally just like a line. So if you paint this on here, it would paint just that surface. Let's see if I can get the right layer for this. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. Can we get something? Yeah, there we go. So see, there's like a literal line, which would be like the path that I'm thinking of. So for example, in this location here, maybe this would be like the line that I'm talking about. It's really straight at the moment, because this is the only one that I could find it like real quick. But if there would be like more of a squiggly kind of a line that's a little bit bent, that would be probably better for usage. Uh, if you were to do it on a grander scale, like for example, this caustic type of thing would be pretty cool, but you would want to do it maybe at a much higher size. So if I was to paint this, yeah, see how that looks. It's probably not the best texture because there's like a lot of um, like grays in it. Like see, there's just it's not gonna come out right. But hopefully you get the idea of that. And looking at this, it actually looks kind of nice to add some variety to the terrain. But yeah, that was just a thought to kind of if you want to add paths and paint with a specific layer using this old alpha brush. Hey Technify, welcome, welcome. Doing all right, doing all right. Just doing some level design today. I didn't get to do any functionality work since yesterday, so um, level design it is. Just it's still work. It has to be done, and it's I think more pleasing to the eye for for viewers, I would say, to um, to watch me do this instead of just kind of trying to mess about with um, with trying to figure out some issues with blueprints and whatnot. Yes. Okay. So let me get one of these items from here as well. And no, I was initially thinking about that of having it as a, um, a kind of uh, time of day cycle. I think that's the name of it. But yeah, I decided not to at the moment. Um, it would be interesting, since there is Lumen, and lighting would be working out pretty well, I would think. It just adds to the complexity, at least the way it is. So what I was thinking of doing is once I at least get the pre-alpha out, because still just finishing off adding all these areas, and at that point I'm going to be able to get the pre-alpha out for people to try it out. Um, what I was thinking of doing is actually having like a daytime and like a nighttime, like so different times of day, but not really dynamic, so it'd be um, because right now I have the lighting almost set up for it. So like if this was daylight, then it'd be maybe something like sunset, and it might be something like I think night was also around. Um, I think overcast I was playing around with, but I never really got it to work really okay-ish. So it might be something like that. But yeah, it wouldn't be something dynamic. My idea with the dynamic was that, okay, things are going to change between the day and the night in terms of, enemy vigilance, so to speak. Um, so I kind of sat and thought about it for a while, but it added a little bit too much complexity. And um, I was trying to think if I want to spend the time on it, if it's worth it. So for now, I'm just gonna leave it with one time of day. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Because like I said, I also wanna um, get this for people to be able to play it and not scope creep. Like if you yeah, the night is actually kind of nice. And I can actually, now that you mention it, we can actually just jump into game mode during nighttime and see how it looks at night when you just have to use the flashlight. If you want to see how that would be, I can jump into the game and show you if that'd be of interest, of course. Yeah, of course. One second. I got something stuck in my head here for a little bit, so I just wanted to quickly paint some of this stuff here. Okay, yeah, let's give that a try. See how it turns out. It's gonna start me in the cave at the moment, but yeah, let's try that out. It might take a little bit to jump into game, but bear with me here for just uh, just a little bit. Okay, there we go. See, this is kind of the other, I wouldn't call it necessarily unfortunate, but um, yeah, so since I had these lights that I was showing you yesterday set up in here to kind of fake the lighting that's coming in from the sun, I would have to adjust these, and I've done this already. I just need to set these lights up with the proper tag so that they get affected when the time of day changes. But yeah, still haven't done it just yet. So okay, all right. So with the flashlight, this is kind of how it looks at night. Yeah, please disregard the this bright light coming from the top. But yeah, as we've done yesterday, actually just kind of climbing up here and exiting the cave basically is what I'm trying to do here. Um, yeah, actually, if you want to see it, it actually looks like this. So um, I'm not sure if I've shown this in the past. I might have, like just with your settings where you can set some of these things up. Um, Pretty simple, nothing, um, you know, um, global illumination, of course. This little checkbox doesn't really work so well, but you do get a boost in performance from it. So of course I wanted to have that in. Um, Gurkan, that is the player capsule because I was testing out. Not sure if you were on the stream yesterday, but I was testing out like this method that I've implemented a while back, where the player can squeeze in between like tight spots. Like in between like a set of rocks or in between like a wall. And not sure if, like I said, not sure if you've seen it from yesterday, but I can show that to you if you like. So yeah, let's quickly get out of this cave here and see how things look. It's this is a setting that I need to probably adjust on the flashlight. It's really bright up close, so I need to adjust that to make it look a little bit better. All right, so that's one of the exits down that way. This is the one that we've just worked on. So let's kind of go this way. Oh, and I guess I'm gonna have to go the other way. One of these rocks has some odd collision that is apparently not allowing me to go through it. Oh, well, okay. Well, that's good to know. Collisions, I tell you. All right, but let's just exit the cave this way, and then I'll jump back into game, and Gurkan, I'll show you that little mechanic where you can kind of squeeze between spaces, like tight spaces. So, all right, so let's just go this way and find the exit. There it is. I think on this side, yeah, I don't have any issues with the collisions, but I guess on the other one, there were some troubles back there. Okay, and I guess I also the flashlight could be set to for a longer dist or a bigger radius, and I might need to do that. Yeah, because I think at this you should be able to light it up from here. Yeah, see, it's just that's kind of short, or kind of a small radius. And once you exit the cave, yeah, there's the rest of the world. So I think the flashlight could be done a little bit better. But okay, so Technify, that was how it is at night. Let me show Gurkan the that mechanic. I'm just gonna go back to with the daylight. So let's because that one was something that I was working on in the day from the days of the UE4, and I was pretty happy with how it worked. And I'm also thinking about, I keep talking about trying to make some more tutorials, but work and everything else has been so busy lately that I barely have time to do it. Technify looked really cool, but it gave the forest feeling. Yeah, and that's why I'm kind of, not a big fan of nighttime in games. It's um I guess it's a good from a lighting perspective. You know what they say sometimes, a good lighting can hide like bad level design and kind of that way. But yeah. Okay, so Gurkan, this is what I'm talking about here. So for example, in this little gap, this little narrow gap here, what happens is you basically just kind of go about and you shimmy, I guess that's the word, um, alongside it like this. And now I'm just pressing. It's not a quick time event. Somebody yesterday. Um, it was I think it was a bad game dev. He was asking about if this could be like a quick time event where you just like engage you enter the area and you just pass through. And I was thinking about that, but at the same time, I kind of wanted this to be an interactive thing for the player. Because right now I can just press S, kind of going backwards and just like shimmy back way, the other way. And that would, since the mechanic works the same for crawling and for pushing objects, I I'm okay with using it like this. So yeah, once you get to the other side, that's there you go. So I just kind of went through this little gap here, and yeah, that's the um, hopefully you like that. It's something that I wanted to add along with, like I said, and you've seen like this kind of custom climbing, um, alpinism or like rock climbing, I guess. And yeah, oh yeah, yeah, and yes, that's the thing. And I'm not sure, like I haven't played God of War, and I'm not sure if they have like if that's a quick time event or you actually control the player as they move through that space. I don't know because I haven't played either of those games. I haven't played The Forest or God of War. And I've always wanted to play God of War, but I just never really got around to trying it out. Yeah. All right. Well, let's continue some of this sculpting here. And good old ramps. I'm just going to use some of them to bridge this gap here. There we go. Nice. That's what I like about ramps. Oh yeah, so it's a loading screen with animation, and that's a good like Technify was saying, it's a good thing to do, I guess, from a performance standpoint, right? I mean, if you have a separate level that you just have to load in, and what I'm hoping with the world partition is that yeah, I'm not gonna need to have any loading screens, and that's kind of the main goal. Um, because yeah, I mean, I don't really like loading screens to be honest, but I totally get them. It's not like I don't mind them. I don't mind them at all, but um yeah. Oh, Technify, sorry to hear. Is it What was I gonna say? I can't download UE5. Maybe try to reinstall the launcher, because that one also is a finicky piece of software. So, um, yeah, try and reinstall the launcher, I would say. Okay. Um, Whoa, we got this really big gap over here that needs to be fixed. Let's fix that. Ramping. There we go. Quick fix. And kind of smoothing out some of this area around here-ish. Yeah, this needs to have a little bit more shapes going on. I am not entirely sure what's happening here. What in the heck? Oh, sometimes it's really odd when I get this. I'm not sure if it's like on some other landscape or what. It just didn't take properly. Let me try and use the smooth around here. So Gurkhan, in my personal project RVT blurs landscape, it looks like it doesn't update on time. You know what? I haven't had that issue. Like what sometimes I sometimes I've noticed those, but what I usually do is I just grab if you just grab the runtime virtual textures and just kind of move them up a little bit, they would regenerate and yeah, all should be good. I haven't noticed any drop in performance with RVT. Like, for example, if I go into my shader complexity, the terrain has more shader complexity or than some of the meshes using RVT. And let's actually take a look at one of those meshes that uses RVT. Um, oh, and sorry about this. There's like some shaders that I guess it needs to compile to show you all this. But yeah, let's take a quick look at like I think my landscape could do without one of the layers. Like I think I have like 5 or 6 layers with my landscape, so I think it could do without one or two of those. But let's see, where do I have a mesh using RVT? Yeah, so see this one over here is actually right around the shader complexity of the terrain. And since I don't use a lot of them, um, it's still okay. Well, so the texture pool size, I don't think it's gonna influence it too much when it comes to the RVT. Um, oh, and one thing to note also, what you need to pay attention to is that the RVT only applies on a mesh, um, like it also relies on the UVs of that mesh. Like for example, if you have, I think I've run into this before. Like let's take a look at this one here. That's not, I've just placed that. Do I have one that would be just that I placed now here? Um, so this one, if we look at it here and we check out the UVs, um, See if the mesh is, or the section of the mesh that's going to touch the RVT, or it's going to benefit from RVT, if its surface is only like really very small, it's going to look pixel, or it's going to look low res. So that's one other thing to think about, at least in my knowledge, the way that what I know about RVTs and what I've experienced with it. So if you have a mesh, like a pretty big one that's got some, like just a very small area of the UV um, needs RVT, and it's using RVT, it might look like low res. So that's also one thing to notice. Like this one is pretty well balanced, this particular mesh, but yeah. Yeah, it definitely, it definitely looks cool. And like I said, I've mentioned this issue that I'm having with some of these layers that have a distance tiling set up, where the blending, doesn't work so good. Yeah, so that's, I guess, not necessarily a big issue, but you can notice it around here, right? If I was to paint this with one of the layers that doesn't have this distance thing, or it doesn't need it, like grass, because grass is covered by a bunch of stuff. So if I use this one, yeah, see, like now you literally can't. I mean, you can't tell if you look really close, because it's the RVT is only it's only got so much of a resolution, but yeah. All right. So we've addressed some of the troubles with the terrain. There were like gaps and holes and openings. And what I wanted to do next is kind of place a little bit more of these, huge blocks around here. And I've played around with it a little bit on this side, so I've been able to set them up a little bit better. But they're still a little straight for me. So I wanted to break that up a little bit. I'm just gonna jump back into here to make sure that I'm selecting one of these cliffs. And this particular cliff has more details to it, kind of, remove some of the flatness, I would say, from how that big block is set up. So let's try and add some of those like around here. And this is what I wanted to use it for. So yeah, as you can see, this one, kind of removed some of that blockiness from this area here. So if I was to place a couple of more of these, I hope that will help with some of that, some of those areas that are just, yeah, see, really flat. So it kind of removed a lot of that flat surfaces around it. And of course, I can use this up a little bit on this side here to mask this mountain, or at least help with it a little bit. Maybe not, doesn't look that good. Let's try and see how we can position it a little bit better. Kind of like so. And of course, I can still continue to use one of these, step it back a little bit. And if you've looked at any of the, like that, what is it, the the demo with the car, or there's no car in it, but the way the level is built in there. There's like one of these big, like gigantic type of uh, rocks that's made out of a ton of these smaller pieces that are were actually kind of rectangular like this, very cubic. And I'm like, okay, I guess that looks pretty good if I use just, more pieces, and then you can just merge them into one mesh. And the good thing is, especially with this one, is the different faces have kind of different um, different looking side. I mean, the sides look a little bit different from one to the next. And yeah, since I'm using the um, um, the same base color, they those separate meshes blend in pretty well. Like over there. And I forgot, I actually have two of these. And I can try and make use of the other one as well because that one um, has some interesting shapes as well. And of course, make use of it. Let me just update the textures so they all match. Yeah, I can see like right now it's got a different diffuse than the rest of these. So there we go. And yeah, it removed quite a bit of um, the flatness of the surface, I would say. And along with this, the other thing that probably um, uh, mentioned it a bunch of times is using this IA scatter tool to place some some like trees and some other like kind of vegetation on top of these cliffs because since it doesn't have like the landscape terrain, I'm just going to rely on this to place it on top of these cliffs here. The tangent looks seamless. Oh, do you mean like where the meshes touch? Yeah, I mean, the material is very simple. I can show it to you. It doesn't, I do have a little bit of a pixel depth offset enabled, but most of it, let me see. Now I'm trying to figure out where they meet as well. So let's see if we can figure out where they meet. I guess right around here. I think this was one, and this is the other one. Yeah, I was like trying to figure out where they meet. So it does have a little bit of pixel depth offset in it. Like but very little, like it's set to 1, so almost like it's not there. So yeah, it's definitely a mixture between because my the material that I have is basically just a simple material that has detail attached to it, and then they all share the same base color, which I think is the one that helps the most. um, and then of course, trying to match, kind of the base color darkness between all these meshes. But yeah, I think it's also a selection in the base color. Um, and this one also has a normal to it, so having the normals in there also helps. Both the detail for that particular big rock and the normal of the of the base, which kind of tiles more than others. And so yeah, that's I think that helps a ton with how things blend together. And I mean, I'm using blend very loosely. It's not really blending, it's just faking it. Hope that makes sense. Oh, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, but like I said in the past, this tool has been immensely helpful to place some of these meshes, especially on surfaces like this, right? Because I don't really want to place um, landscape or on. I don't want to place the vegetation itself, which is these, on meshes so much. I think yeah, you can definitely do that, but I want to have control over what I place on top of these, especially on top of these cliffs, because everything else is procedural. So yeah, I wanted to. All right, and I think I need to shoot the rate down a little farther. Um, there we go. Yeah, so having these trees atop of these rocks also takes away from some of the blockiness, right? And that helps, I think. Of course, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to flatten this terrain here. This slope looks like it's been man-made, so I need to put a little bit of a gully in the middle. Actually, let's do that because it's going to be pretty simple. And sculpt ramp. Let's go to our usual ramp here. So I'm just going to do a ramp from here to here maybe. Let's just give it a little bit of different positioning. Make it a little smaller. Let's sink them in a little bit and add a ramp. Um, okay, that's better. I wish there was a way uh, to do um, kind of like noise along the side of the ramp. Wishful thinking, I guess, but let's make that a little wider. Okay, there we go. We're kind of getting a little bit of a thing going on here where it's not so much like it's all the same. Let's see if we can extend it out a little bit to here. This a little lower. There we go. It just gives it a little bit more shape. And I'm gonna try and get rid of this kind of flatness alongside this edge. So I'm gonna try actually to sculpt it with this. Uh, I haven't tried using one of these before yet. It's kind of noisy though. And I might need to get something of a different type of texture here. Let me see. I have some landscape sculpt brushes. Just never recall what the name of them are. Let's see. Oh, of course. And that's why I'm using some of those, and we'll add those in as well. I think, and that might cover us for today's stream. We'll let me do some of this sculpting around here to kind of add a little bit of variety to this to these edges. Just trying to see what would work best. Something like that. I'm gonna need to smooth that section out a little bit over there. But yeah, that kind of unflattened it. I guess it unflattened that area. That was, oh my God, don't crash. Ah, God damn it. I've been running into this issue lately where sometimes when I sculpt the terrain, it throws this crash. Oh my God, it is annoying, unreal. And I'm thinking I'm not sure what it is, to be honest, because it doesn't really give you any details. Ardi, hey, welcome, welcome. How are you? Hello. Yeah, so let's get back into it. Luckily, I only get this crash when I sculpt the terrain, and I'm not entirely sure why. It's really odd. I need to take a closer look at the log. I know there's like a little bit more added to it, so I'll take a look and see if there's anything of use in there, but I kind of doubt it. At least nothing that I might be able to understand. So let's start this back up, and unfortunately, it did not save. Uh, oh my God, I'm not entirely sure when I saved last, so I hope I saved after I added those trees, but maybe not. That's why I save often. Yeah, it did crash. Welcome to Unreal. Luckily, like I said, it only for me it has only crashed, and I'm not sure why. It's actually started, I think, since 5.2, since I moved. 5.1 was very stable. Like it worked out so well. 5.2 has been a mixed bag, a very mixed bag. So um, that's why I'm hoping um, this one plugin that I use that has not been made for 5.3 is they're going to work on it and get it done for 5.3. Um, so yeah, outside of oddly crashing when I sculpt the terrain, and again, it hasn't happened before. This is like the first time that I'm getting crashes when sculpting the terrain. Outside of that, it's worked out pretty good. Like with um, from the aspect of working with blueprints, compiling things and all that, it's worked out okay. But yeah, this thing with the terrain, I am not entirely sure what's what. Yeah, so it's going to take a little bit of time because it needs to open all my tabs, and I've had like a dozen of them open, or maybe more. And I think it's just unloading all the level instances. Hey Miles, welcome, welcome. There we go. So loading um, the level instances. And how much did I lose? I lost quite a bit. Oh man, this is so annoying. Save often because I don't like the autosave. I don't rely on it. But well, yeah. So the displacement support, I don't think it's actually displacement as is nanite. I think it relies on this damn nanite that everybody's just like, you know, um, everybody's just going crazy over nanite. Yeah, so I've only seen performance decrease when I use nanite. I haven't seen anything increasing. Yeah, at least on my system. I'm sure if you have like a modern system or at least something that's less than 5 years old, which mine isn't, um, you might be able to run it better. I'm not sure if it's like an RTX type of thing, but I actually have better performance when I have nanite turned off. And enabling nanite for terrain, yeah. So that's not to say it wouldn't work. It wouldn't. It's not like it doesn't work well. I mean, it works for me, but it's just not. You would have to. I would have to get a newer video card to actually benefit from it. And right now, I wanna develop my project for with medium to low end video card in mind. So people that have better video cards can run it at full, epic, and people that have cards like mine can still run it, you know, at around 40 frames per second or more, with Lumen and all that enabled. So uh, that's kind of um, that's kind of my plan at the moment. Okay, let's get some of those things that we lost back in here. Hoping, and then I'll sculpt the terrain separately. But hopefully you were able to see what I was planning to do with that terrain. I'll just scan it. I'll just sculpt it separately. So if there's another crash, we don't have to like, um, spend the time to like boost, start it up again and all that headache. So with the meshes, I've haven't had any issues. Um, hopefully I'm not just gonna bring this up and then it's gonna crash. We'll see. Yeah. So see, I don't have an RTX, and if that happens with an RTX, yeah, I don't think Nanite is really ready for production, to be honest with you. So that's why I'm not really using it. It's cool and all, definitely. It's a cool shiny feature, and that's one of the things that I don't like so much um, when it comes to your standard development of things is, yeah, let's implement all these cool features because they're like shiny, but disregard, you know, obvious issues with the product. And it's common across the industry, I guess. Like, let's get this shiny feature in first, and then, not to mention, we've got all these crashes that people have been reporting or all these issues. Let's get this thing that's looking cool and probably 1% of people are going to play around with, and 5% of people are going to look about, and nobody's going to use in production. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit of ranting here. I'm sorry. Um, well, so I don't think there's a way. It's a project level type of setting, so I don't think you can. You either do nanite or you don't do nanite. It's one of the one of the other. That's my understanding when it comes to nanite. You can't. It would be cool. It's not like Lumen, right? Like Lumen, I have it. you can enable it in the project settings to make things look, to have global illumination working and all that. But uh, yeah, with Nanite, unfortunately, it's doesn't. My understanding is it does not work that way, which it's a bummer, but such is things. All right, so I'm just gonna try and save as often as I can. Let's get some of those trees on top of that. Come on. I want to put some of these trees down here as well. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so that's much better with, having some of those trees up top there. Let me do maybe a little bit fewer instances there to get kind of a little bit of sparsity in the trees. Nice. And now that I've extended it, let's get a few more. There we go. All right, well, let's try at least to get some of those kind of fallen rocks around the edges of this, and um, yeah, to kind of break up this kind of sharp line. There's this particular mesh at least has a little bit of kind of that little piece down at the bottom, which seems to work okay. But yeah, I wanted to get some of those fallen rocks on this edge here. So Miles, how can I optimize my light to have more FPS? Well, there's a couple of things. Like usually, what I try to do is try and go into, if you press Alt 7, you'll go into light complexity. So for example, like here, if I do Alt 7, like the only light that I have in the environment is the directional light, basically the sun. But if you were to look at an area, and I'm going to move my camera around to this dam area in here, like in the parking garage, and you'll see this one's going to be a little bit different. There's a little bit more lights in here, so the light complexity um, gets gets more complex, making it worse on performance. So once you start getting like a bunch of like this one's starting to get bad here. I probably have a little bit too many lights in this area. So that's one of the things. So if at least I can help you well, this light has, do I need this kind of a radius for this light? Maybe not. So that might help you with troubleshooting some of that issue. So reducing how much they overlap, basically. Um, and I think um, that's one item. Shadows, you'd be surprised, but shadows don't matter as much. I think usually with having cast shadows, it actually helps with the overdraw. It's my understanding. I'm not very technical on that aspect, but um, yeah, the indirect lighting does. I don't think that adds anything to the complexity, to be honest. Yeah, so I do have some indirect lighting in here. These are all, let me see, what can I give you as an example of indirect lighting? Okay, yeah, so check this out. For example, like this one, I'm just gonna pause here and show Miles this. So in this level, this particular light has an indirect where is it? Light intensity, indirect intensity of 5. So if I set it to 0, you'll notice that we're losing some of the details around here. But with the light complexity, nothing really changes. Like this one, if I set this one to 50, you know, it doesn't really do anything. So, but when it comes to the area itself, like, see, there's like quite a lot of it shining around here. And, just turn it off and show you. You do get that really nice kind of bounce lighting around some of these spaces. Of course, don't overdo it because, yeah, you, this is exaggerating it here, but just trying to show you how it would be. But, maybe for this light, something around 10 might work out okay. Um, so yeah, hopefully that gave you a little bit of an idea of how that light in particular is working. All right. Well, I was gonna add some of these around the bottom of that gully. I guess it's the term for it is a gully. Like when you have the space in between, like some rock walls and stuff. All right. Let's get these guys over here and try and place them alongside this edge. We'll see how this turns out. Yeah, and you were showing me Outlast, but like I said, I don't really know if the way they're doing it, if it's with if they're also using baked lighting in their setup. That part I don't know. All right, so there we go. With this one, they're all instance meshes, which is cool. That's why I like this tool so much. Yeah, and that's how you in any of the lights in UE5 you can set that up that way. It's like I didn't do anything specific or any kind of um changes to that light. That's basically how it is. Yeah, so I'm just trying to position these kind of these the spline to go alongside the edge of um, the edge of this cliff here. Let's align these to normal. There we go. So now we have some of those kind of scattered rocks falling that might have fallen off the cliffs. Um, so Miles, to do this with indirect light, did you go to build light? Oh no, no, no. This is fully dynamic. All this stuff that I've shown you is just fully dynamic. I think a good example for it, since that one was a blueprint, let's actually go back in here into this cave area, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with like just a regular spotlight. So in here, what I'm gonna have is this little, I've added this light to kind of fake the light coming in from the sun because, you know, as much as you want to do it with indirect lighting, it doesn't really work. So, you know, with the sun, you know, it works, but especially with the sun, you don't want to overdo it, right? So with this, with it off, you know, it's kind of bland. But with it on, you know, it gets a little bit more light in here. So what I'm going to do, let me bump this up a little bit higher so you can get the idea of what the indirect lighting is going to do. And so right now I have it set to 20, pretty high value. But if I turn it off, yeah, see it, you don't get any of that bounce light. It still looks okay-ish, but having the indirect lighting, you know, set up maybe 10 was a good number. See, you get all this kind of nice light where you would expect the lights to go. And that's what I was suggesting to you on Discord as far as the you know setting up the lights in your project. And of course, it's the amount of indirect light. It also relies heavily on how big the intensity of your light is, and so that's one thing to keep in mind. Like I might be able to bump this up to 4,000 just to get a little bit more light in there. So yeah, there we go. Just gonna commit my changes to this level here. Oops, and we still have this little, oh yeah, these changes I didn't save at the time. I'll do them, but I mean, you've already seen them done. I'll do them offline. Okay, and the other thing, cool thing with this is that you know I can also use it to you know place some of these things around here a little bit. Just scatter some of these meshes, and of course this one I can set the bigger spread to just put them across like that. So Miles, hopefully that helped out a little bit, just to give you some ideas around that. Okay, well, this area is coming together. Like I said, there's still kind of some fixings around um, the you know sculpting the terrain. So let's quickly just add some of these meshes, remove some of the flatness of some of these surfaces around here, hopefully. Oh yeah, of course, of course. We can have a quick chat if you like, and I can run you through some of the settings. All right, there we go. That removes some of it. And up here, there's terrain, so I do have some of that going on. Um, but since this is going to be kind of like this ridge, I'm going to be using some of these meshes here. Now sometimes I'm having a hard time finding some of these meshes because they, like we were saying, they started blending in pretty good together. So yeah, having they're literally three meshes, and the only thing they don't share is their normal for the detail normal, and that's the only one that's different across them. This one here, this one might be getting a little too busy for my taste. Might not be necessarily good, at least here. Yeah, that's kind of the other thing to consider, right? A little bit of consistency, I would say. Like while this one has a little bit more flatter surfaces, which kind of I think works a little bit better with that big rectangular piece. The other one was a little noisy. So yeah, there we go. And there's going to be something, a little bit back here as well to not just be completely this little line because I don't really like it that way. So, something that goes back here in the background, also kind of scaling this up a little bit. So, things like this. I'm gonna play around with it a little bit more offline to see, what works a little bit better. Um, but yeah, having something back here as well should help with giving the feeling of there's of depth, Come on. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. This particular mesh has a little bit more of a flatter surface, so I think it blends in a little bit better with the one that's almost completely flat. And if anybody's interested in this, it's actually called literally like what it says, Cliffmaker. I believe if you search for it on, I think I might have gotten it off of Gumroad some years ago. Can't remember, but um, yeah. All right, and let's top it off um, with some of these trees. So I'm gonna do it in a couple of levels. So one that goes up there and one on the bottom. This is gonna be just the regular um, the regular trees from the foliage painted. But for now, since regenerating the foliage takes a while, I'm just gonna add that in like that. All right, there we go. And last thing before I finish the stream, let's just kind of fix this terrain here. And I made sure I saved it so it doesn't it hasn't crashed when it has to process something like say a ramp. But it has crashed when I'm just simply sculpting. Go figure. I'm not sure why that's happening, but yeah. So see, for actions like this, it's fine. But when it comes to me sculpting, that's when it's just having some trouble sometimes. I just wanted to add a little bit or more of a kind of a area here. Okay, well, that was kind of a quick one. Just really just putting in um, some ramps to join these together, and yeah, let's just close it off with this little bit here that is not very pleasant looking. These kinds of ends um, of that level. Trying to throw some of these in here to cover these up, and then I'll move some of these outside of this level, this kind of cave exit level into the main level, so it can be um, easily accessed. Okay, and so that's going to be it for me for today. I'll um, resume this next week, and hopefully by then, hopefully I should have a shorter or not easy week at work, so I might be able to get a little bit more of those um, kind of functionality and gameplay worked in. Because what I wanted to do, this area, I wanted to have it as one of the landing zones. Um, so basically, where you can jump out of the airplane around here, and there's going to be a little bit of stealth slash combat around here where you can take out some of the guards that are just patrolling around this area. And yeah, so I'll do some more refining on that. The mechanics are in place, when it comes to like stealth takedown. Of course, the combat I've shown you in the past, with the bow, with the rifles, the pistol. But I wanted to refine the kind of the stealth takedown a little bit, and um, get that in so it works a lot better. At least from, it's a little kludgy where, the camera goes through the opponent's head and, you don't want that. But so I'll get that in, hopefully get that fixed up, and um, we can probably do some gameplay testing around here next week if I get to it. But yeah, until then, y'all have a great week, and I'll see you in a week. All right, take care, everybody. Thanks for stopping by.